The Tshwane Coalition has condemned alleged acts of destruction and lawlessness allegedly caused by South African Municipal Workers Union. The coalition urged both the South African Police Service and the Provincial Public Order Police to play an active role in maintaining law and order, especially when violence erupts. So far, the city has arrested 17 employees for their alleged involvement in violent activities and the destruction of municipal property. For more on this, we are now joined by Jacqui Uys, who is the Coalition Joint Caucus chairperson, and she joins us via our video link. Jacqui, thank you so much for joining us here on the late edition. Perhaps maybe, you could just give us a bit of insight when it comes to the violence in which you are telling us about. We have indeed seen reports over the past couple of days when it comes to violence in the city of Tshwane. How bad is the violence, by, you alleged, the striking employees in the city of Tshwane?
Over the last weekend, the violence actually took on quite a new turn, where we saw a worker of Tshwane who was on Saturday night busy working, a plumber, fixing a pipe. He had a vehicle come stop next to him and tell him that there's a strike, you should stop working. He did not do so. He did not stop. He continued to work. Once he finished his work and left the site, the same vehicle who threatened him and told him to stop working actually followed him, hijacked him, shot him twice, and left him for dead. So although the worker is currently in hospital and he's busy strengthening on and getting better, the violence has made a very big turn, a very significant turn, and it is now getting to a point where we are really dealing with almost a thuggery, and we greatly condemn that. Workers have a right to strike, but this is an illegal strike. The court has said that it is illegal and violent, threatening your employees that work with you, your fellow co-workers, burning down municipal infrastructure, which is in fact infrastructure that belongs to the people of Tshwane. When it comes to burning that down and destroying that we highly condemn.
And maybe, Jacqui, now that you've spoken about the incident on Saturday, these are, of course, workers from the city who opted to actually go to work, and they were attacked, I presume, while they were conducting, work for the city of Tshwane. Give us an update. What condition is the worker in, the one that you have just given us, an insight to, that he was shot on Saturday? What does his recovery look like?
Like I said, he is currently in hospital, and I believe that he is strengthening and getting better. The mayor did visit him this afternoon. As I sit here, I don't have a full rundown of what the situation is, more than just that he is on the path to wellness.
All right, Jacqui, and maybe, talking about you reaching out to the employees, I know you have been in negotiations for quite some time, trying to get workers back into the city. The city has indeed at least fired at least 40 of those employees who did partake in that strike action and refused to come back to work. Are you continuing to reach out to those who are still on strike and who still refuse to come back and, conduct their duties?
Well, the city has, in actual fact, at this point, issued 96 dismissal letters. These are to employees who did partake in violence and did partake in threatening of their fellow employees. We have to acknowledge that the greater majority of Tshwane employees want to come to work. They want to serve the residents. There is a minority of group that is currently partaking in this illegal strike. However, the city has been reaching out to the unions. We have been following the proper legal processes. We filed a SALGA application for exemption on the increases yesterday. That is being heard, I think, on the 24th or the 23rd of August. So there is continuous reached out to the leadership of the various unions, and the city is also following the legal processes in resolving this labour dispute.
And Jacqui, would know that the cost of living in South Africa has significantly increased over the past couple of months, and of course, this has a dire impact on many residents throughout the country as they try to make ends meet. Maybe, does this not show their frustration at the process of the cost of living in South Africa, and hence why they are demanding that increase?
The cost of living in South Africa throughout the last couple of years, probably from the start of COVID, has brought us to a place where it is an unacceptably high cost that it is on people to survive in South Africa. However, the average Tshwane worker does earn a comparatively higher salary than people in the same job position in the outside. And we have to take into consideration that the rand water increases and the Eskom increases has forced the municipality to increase our utilities accounts by quite a lot. And every increase that goes to the workers of Tshwane, who is already on a comparatively higher income than your average resident, every increase in salary to these workers will also result in higher rates and taxes to the residents of the city. And these are difficult decisions to take. It is not decisions that is easily taken, but prior to approving the budget, the coalition had to make decisive actions to ensure that we can still deliver services and that we can still make our salary bill. And carrying a 600 million rand additional salary bill will unfortunately not allow us to continue to make our commitments without putting further strain onto the average resident in the city of Tshwane.
All right, Jacqui, and of course you did touch on indeed that you are looking for an exemption to not make that increase kick in for the workers, and that matter, I understand, will be heard on the 23rd of August. What will you be arguing exactly, when you try to get exempted from giving workers an increase?
The city will be presenting its finances, and it will argue based on its finances that we cannot afford the further increases.
And perhaps, maybe can you give us a bit of insight now that you did indeed get that interdict that will not allow workers, to down tools further, and hence why we saw the dismissal of that 90 plus employees in the city of Tshwane. Give us maybe, the extent of the damage, or rather the services in the city of Tshwane. Has the city recovered, to make sure that they are able to give services to the residents of Tshwane?
Well, at this point, water leaks and electricity outages is the most difficult for the city to stay ahead. One of the reasons is because these teams are specifically targeted. A lot of our other areas of service have returned to its normal, it has returned to its normal functions. However, electricity, water and waste collection still has got quite a lot of delays, although there is plans in place to ensure that we follow up on this.
And earlier you were speaking about the infrastructure that has been damaged because of the striking employees in the city of Tshwane. How much has that cost the city so far? Maybe if you can just give us an estimation, if you can, because you did touch on it quite a bit, saying that it has been problematic as some of the employees continued to down tools.
Yes, there has been quite an extensive damage to the city's property. However, there's also been a lot of damage and a lot of suffering on the side of our residents, where residents had to discard of frozen food in fridges because of prolonged outages. So there's a double influence on residents. At this point, as I'm sitting here, I have not been briefed as to exactly what the damage on the city side is. But if you take the damage on the city side combined with the damage that our residents are having, this is having a big impact on the economy of the city as well.
All right, Jacqui, thank you so much for your time. That is Jacqui Uys, Coalition Joint Caucus chairperson, giving us an insight in terms of, the striking employees in the city of Tshwane, also speaking out about the violence which has taken place in that effect.